Don't listen to what some newcomers or outsiders say about gambling needing skill. Or, you need to read the patterns. When it comes to slot machines, that's all just self-deception. It's a game of pure probability, or rather, pseudo-random chance. Whether you hit the button fast or slow, whether you control the rhythm yourself, or let it spin slowly, let me tell you the truth. The final outcome was already determined by the machine's internal program. The instant you pressed the button, or pulled the handle, all those flashy animations on the screen, the symbols jumping from one square to the next, even those near-miss moments where you almost line up a winning combination, they are all pre-designed. Their sole purpose is to maximize their influence on your psychological state, to make you willing to keep playing and even fall deeper into the trap. You mentioned the different feelings brought by fast play and slow play. This is precisely where the casino is so cunning. It can't control the outcome, but it can control how you feel about the outcome, thereby controlling your behavior. What does fast play sell? It sells the illusion of efficiency and control. You hit the button, and the result pops out instantly, revealed as quickly as peeling back layers. This rhythm is like opium for those who are anxious and crave knowing the result quickly. If you win, instant euphoria surges through your body like electricity. If you lose, that feeling of loss and unwillingness to accept it hits you instantly too. But because the interval is short, it's quickly overwritten by the thought of, "I'll turn things around next hand." This high-frequency stimulation puts your emotions on a roller coaster, soaring and plunging, giving you absolutely no time to think calmly. What's worse, fast play greatly increases the speed at which your money circulates. Maybe you could only play a few hands a minute before. Now you're playing dozens. Every single time you press the button, it's a real money transaction. But because it's so fast, the process of money disappearing as numbers gets blurred, and you become numb to the loss of money. The casino is desperate for you to play this way. The faster you spin, the faster the rake is taken. The speed at which it recoups costs and earns profit increases exponentially. Many people run out of ammo at slot machines, often not because they lost it all in one go, but because high-frequency small losses accumulate into astronomical figures in a very short time. And what does slow play sell? It sells the process and the feeling of hope. Watching the symbols spin little by little, dropping one by one, you know the result is coming, but you don't know exactly what it will be. Those few seconds of delay are suspense, agony, and endless speculation. Your mind races. Will I hit? Will it line up? Will I get free spins? Every time similar symbols are about to line up, or special symbols subtly appear, that near-miss feeling, that just missed its stimulation, will make your heart pound in your throat. This process is like a small drama. Every spin is a build-up, an anticipation. It lets you immerse yourself in it, enjoying that waiting for Godot-like process. Although the speed of losing money is a bit slower, it greatly extends the time you spend in front of the machine. And the longer you stay, the deeper you are influenced by the casino environment, the easier it is to enter that dazed state, the harder it is to pull yourself away. For those who treat gambling as a way to escape reality or pass the time, the immersive experience provided by slow play is precisely what they need. You see, regardless of fast or slow, the casino wins. Fast has its benefits, quick rake. Slow has its clever use, deep immersion. It doesn't force you to choose which way, because either way achieves its goal, to make you continuously and substantially contribute your betting volume. The reason slot machines can be so addictive is that they exploit several of the most vulnerable points in human nature: the intertwined desire and fear of uncertainty. Humans are naturally fascinated by uncertainty, yet also fearful of it. Slot machines provide the perfect combination. The outcome is uncertain, but there's always anticipation. You never know what the next spin will bring, a big win or nothing at all. It's precisely this suspense that makes you unable to stop. Every time you press the button, it's an exploration of the unknown, and your brain gets excited by it. Variable ratio reinforcement. This is one of the most effective forms of reinforcement in psychology. Rewards, winning, or a near miss don't appear predictably. They are random. You don't know when they will come, so you keep repeating the behavior to seek that uncertain reward. This is more addictive than being rewarded every single time, because it keeps you constantly hopeful, believing that if I just keep trying, I'll get it eventually. The psychological trap of the near miss. Slot machines are meticulously designed to frequently show you symbol combinations that are just one step away from a big win. The brain's reaction to a near miss is very similar to winning. It releases dopamine, creating a feeling of pleasure. This makes you mistakenly believe you're very close to success, thereby motivating you to keep investing, to grab that seemingly within-reach victory. It's more deceptive than simply losing outright. Sensory stimulation and dissociation. The deafening music, the glaring lights, the rapidly flashing screens, the rhythmic sounds of the machine. These together create an intense sensory assault. Prolonged exposure to this environment causes the brain to enter a state similar to flow or mild dissociation. You lose track of time, forget your surroundings, even forget who you are or why you came here. All that remains is the world on the screen in front of you. Inserting coins, pressing buttons, anticipating the result. This cycle becomes your entire perception. This feeling of dissociation allows you to temporarily escape reality's troubles. But this is precisely the beginning of addiction. You start relying on this state to numb yourself. Simplicity of operation and the fantasy of huge returns. You only need to perform the simplest actions. Insert coins, press a button, and you have the potential to receive massive returns that could change your life. The huge gap between this extremely low cost of effort and the extremely high potential reward creates a powerful temptation. It bypasses all processes requiring thought or effort and directly appeals to humanity's most primal greed and the fantasy of getting something for nothing. The illusion of control. Even though slot machines are random, casinos design them to give you a feeling of control. For instance, you can choose your bet amount, choose which pay lines to activate, and some machines even let you stop the spinning reels. These operational choices make you mistakenly believe your decisions influence the outcome, thereby creating the illusion of I'm playing, I'm in control of the situation. This false sense of control makes you invest more deeply, making it harder to accept that losing is inevitable. Modern video slots take these psychological tactics to the extreme. They are no longer the old-fashioned 3 reels, but have countless pay lines, various complex themes, exquisite animations, and interactive bonus games. These increase the game's complexity and fun, but also increase the frequency of near misses and sensory stimulation, making it easier for you to become immersed. Those free spins and bonus games that seem like winning a fortune are often just returning a portion of the accumulated rake in a more dramatic way, while simultaneously generating the excitement and anticipation of winning big, thereby making you more willing to keep playing to win the real jackpot, that massive progressive prize with an extremely low probability. Remember, a casino is not a charity. It's open for business to make money. Its business model is built on the rake, or rather, the house edge, RTP below 100%, taken from players. Slot machine RTP is likely among the lowest, least favorable to the player, of all casino games, ranging from 85% to 98%. This means, in the long run, for every $100 you put in, you will on average only get back $85 to $98. That remaining $2 to $15 is the casino's guaranteed profit. And slot machines are terrifying because they encourage high-frequency, high-volume betting. The faster you play, fast play. The larger your single bets, the more hands you play in total. Your total betting volume increases significantly. Your total betting volume multiplied by the house edge percentage is the amount the casino theoretically earns from you. This money is taken silently. It's not reflected in the win or loss of any single hand, but in your accumulated bets over a long time and large amounts. It's like a faucet that's constantly dripping slowly. One drop 2 drops, you don't feel anything. But after a day, a month, a year, it can add up to a significant amount. Your money, bit by bit, non-stop, flows into the casino's vault every time you press the button. Many gamblers who lose everything just think it's bad luck. They don't see, or don't want to see, that it's the combined result of the slot machine's internal mathematical mechanism and external psychological manipulation. You didn't lose to luck. You lost to the mathematics and the psychology designed to exploit your human nature, trying to use fast or slow presses to find patterns, to fight the cycles, to catch luck. This itself is an illusion planted by the casino. The more fixated you are on these operations and speculations, the more you are contributing a steady stream of betting volume to the casino, thereby allowing its rake mechanism to operate at maximum efficiency. I've seen too many people sit motionless at a slot machine for hours, eyes glued to the screen, as if the entire person has been sucked in. They might be well-dressed. They might have a distinguished background. But in that moment, they are just empty shells controlled by the machine, repeating simple actions. Their faces are expressionless, with only a near-dazed focus. Not until the numbers on the screen hit 0, or they run out of money, will they stand up blankly, as if suddenly awakened, then go to an ATM to withdraw money, or borrow from someone, and return to the same machine, repeating the process. This scene is more heartbreaking than the loss of money itself. It shows you how gambling step by step devours a person's will and soul. When you do win money, especially a decent amount, the slot machine's most terrifying trap truly reveals itself. Human nature is greedy. You'll think, can I win a little more? You'll feel, the machine is hot right now. You'll fear that if you leave now, you'll miss the big jackpot later. And the casino environment will reinforce this psychology. The excited sounds around you, the constantly flashing lights, are all silently encouraging you to stay. Those free drinks offered make you feel comfortable, make you feel like a valued customer, not like a lamb to the slaughter. Under the combined effect of this psychology and environment, it's very hard to convince yourself to leave. So, you put the money you just won back into the machine, and the casino, like a patient hunter, waits for you to take the bait, then slowly closes its net. Data shows that most people who win money on slot machines will eventually lose it back, and often lose even more, because they cannot overcome humanity's biggest weakness, knowing when to quit while you're ahead. So, stop agonizing over whether to play fast or slow. Those are just surface appearances. What truly makes you addicted and lose money is the cold, hard mathematical advantage behind the slot machine. The trap's meticulously designed using psychology and your own infinitely magnified desires. You think you're playing the machine, but the machine is actually playing you. It manipulates your emotions, numbs your senses, drains your money, and ultimately devours your life. If you or someone around you has started becoming addicted to slot machines, becoming fixated, you must be vigilant. It's not just about losing money. It's a terrifying psychological bondage. Unlike card tables that require social interaction, you can play slots alone, which makes it easier to become a tool for escaping reality, and easier for people to sink deeper in silence, unnoticed, until they're unable to break free. The hardest part isn't realizing all this, but how to fight against it. Fighting a machine is easy. Fighting the self that's been lured out and infinitely magnified by the machine is incredibly difficult. Breaking free from slot machine addiction requires more courage and a stronger will than playing it. It's not something that can be solved by so-called skills or patterns. It's a challenge to human nature, an ultimate test of self-control. The only advice I can give you is to stay away. If you can't stay away completely, then be sure to remember what I've said. It's a meticulously designed scam. It makes money through the rake, or house edge. It exploits your desires and psychological weaknesses. Most of the hope and stimulation you see are illusions. Set the strictest stop-loss limit. If you lose, leave immediately. If you win, leave even faster. See every time you play a slot machine as paying money to suffer, not an opportunity to win. Perhaps only when you truly see its ugly essence, and no longer hold any unrealistic fantasies about it, will you have a chance to break free from its clutches. This path is very difficult, but for your life, for your family, you must walk it. Earlier, I explained how fast and slow play are just tactics, different feelings sold to you by the casino, both aimed at getting your money. I also talked about how it uses lights, sounds, near misses, and variable rewards to keep you hooked. These are the technical aspects, the principles of how it works. Now, let's talk about a deeper level. How this thing traps you as a person. Sitting in front of a slot machine, especially the new video ones, with the overwhelming visuals, deafening sounds, constant flashing lights, you quickly enter a state that's a bit hazy, a bit numb. I call that the machine's hypnosis. Your eyes are glued to the screen. Your ears are completely occupied by the sound. Your fingers mechanically repeat the actions of inserting coins and pressing buttons. It's like your brain has shut down most functions, leaving only the processing of these most direct sensory stimuli right in front of you. You might not realize it, but in this state, you've lost your normal perception of time and money. Is it day or night outside? How long have you been sitting there? An hour? 2 hours? Or longer? You don't know and you don't care. The money in your hand, or the numbers on your card, turn into cold credits, or chips on the screen. They lose their value from the real world. Losing 1,000 credits feels completely different from losing $1,000. The machine operates so fast. Money flows in and out like water. You can't even react, and it blurs the real pain of money transactions, making you feel it's just scoring and losing points in a game. Even more terrifying, slot machines offer the cheapest, quickest form of escape. How many troubles are there in real life? Work stress, relationships, financial difficulties, too much anxiety and pain. But sitting in front of a slot machine, you don't need to think about any of that. You just need to stare at the screen, anticipating the thrill of the next spin. For those few hours, you genuinely feel like you've entered another world. A world of just you and the machine, a dream woven with money and probability. This temporary feeling of escape, for those who can't find an outlet in reality, is like drug addiction. Once you've tasted that relief, it's very hard to quit. You didn't come here to win money. You came here to escape. Winning money is just an excuse you give yourself, or a kind of rationalizing reward for the act of escaping. Slot machines are also particularly easy for people to fall into a lonely, internal struggle. Look at the tables in the casino, Pai Gow, Baccarat. They're crowded, lively, there's interaction, communication. There might be many people sitting near slot machines to squeeze together, but each person is an island, immersed in their own screen, repeating their own actions. That feeling of loneliness, combined with the shame and unwillingness to accept loss, is often suppressed deep down, very hard to talk about with anyone. This secret, underground struggle makes the problem easier to worsen and harder to get help for. I've seen that look in people's eyes too many times, staring at the screen for a long time, a bit glazed, a bit hopeful, a bit despairing. Their body might still be sitting there, but their heart, their spirit, has been captured by that machine. They are no longer complete, thinking people. They are more like players controlled by a program, repeating set actions, chasing set, illusory rewards. Slot machines have another particularly insidious trick. They always give you a little last-ditch hope, just when you're about to give up. You might have lost a large portion of your principal, feeling discouraged, thinking you'll play just a few more hands and leave. Then, ding-dong, the machine gives you a seemingly decent reward, maybe free spins, or maybe just a few hundred credits directly. At this moment, your internal struggle begins. See, it's paying out again. My persistence just now was right. Maybe the next spin will hit even bigger. This bit of money might not make up for what you've already lost, but it's like a drowning person grasping a straw. It instantly reignites your hope. And the casino relies on throwing down these life-saving straws on the edge of despair. to drag you back into the abyss. You put this money, carrying hope, back into that black hole that devours everything, and the result is often losing faster and more miserably. Many times, it's not that you can't afford to lose that bit of money. It's that you can't stand the feeling of just missed it. You can't stand the fantasy of what if the next spin is the jackpot. You can't stand losing that dream of turning things around overnight that you can achieve in the real world. Slot machines exploit your deepest inner desires and your most vulnerable unwillingness to accept loss, constantly creating this illusion that feels within reach, yet forever out of reach. And the designers of the casinos, they didn't just come up with these tactics out of nowhere. They studied massive amounts of player data, analyzed human psychological responses in gambling, and then designed these game mechanisms that are best at stimulating people, keeping people, and extracting money from people. Every machine update, every new slot model released, builds upon the previous generation, making these hooks more hidden, more effective, and better tailored to players' tastes. It's not a static, dead thing. It's a constantly learning, constantly optimizing vampire. Hearing all this, you might ask, is there any way to fight back? Of course there is, but the prerequisite is that you can truly recognize it for what it is and be willing to be ruthless with yourself. Fighting slot machines isn't about researching their payout cycles. That stuff is unreliable. And even if it exists, you can't calculate it, or finding some so-called sure win formula. That stuff doesn't exist. It's about fighting your own desires and psychological weaknesses. First, you have to admit that slot machines are designed to make money from you based on probability and design. Playing long-term, losing is inevitable. Its RTP is below 100%, meaning for every $100 you put in, it's going to keep its due portion. The more you play, the more of that portion it takes. This mathematical principle is something no skill can change. Second, fighting the addiction caused by slot machines requires possessing extremely strong self-control. Before you even start playing, set a strict budget. If that money is lost, leave immediately, right away. Don't think about just playing a bit longer, or I'll leave when I win. Especially when you have won money, that is the absolute best time to withdraw. Overcome greed. Overcome that urge to strike while the iron is hot. Put the profit you've just secured in your pocket and walk away without looking back. This sounds simple, but doing it is incredibly difficult because you're fighting your own infinitely magnified desires, fighting the machine's meticulously designed mechanisms to keep you there. More importantly, try to fill the void deep inside you that needs escape. Slot machines offer a false, temporary satisfaction and escape. They don't actually solve your real-life problems. They only make you lose more and create more problems. Find healthy hobbies, build good relationships, face and solve the difficulties in your life. These are the things that can truly bring you stable happiness and value. A slot machine is a monster. It doesn't just devour your money. It devours your time, your energy, your rationality, your emotions, and finally, it wants to devour you as a person. That feeling of powerlessness from staring at the screen for a long time, letting your thoughts and money be sucked away by the machine, is a deep despair. It makes you the most isolated person in a noisy crowd, the most pathetic figure in a glamorous hall. So, stop asking if it's better to play fast or slow. Ask yourself, why are you sitting there? What makes you unable to leave? What are you truly trying to escape? When you can face these questions, only then might you truly be able to break free from the slot machine, from the quagmire of gambling. This path is not easy, it might even be painful, but it is the only way out. Seeing the flesh-eating nature of the slot machine, seeing your own magnified desires. This is the first step toward self-salvation. I hope you have that clarity and courage.